the the question that enters most people who don't hate Israel, the first question is, if Israel stops fighting, there will still be rockets sent over to kill Israelis. Is there an example in history of, I mean this quite sincerely, is there an example of a country allowing itself to be bombed?
Actually, the example, if we could find one, would be Israel, because this isn't the first rodeo for Israel. There have been these kind of actions in Gaza, around Gaza, excuse me, with Hamas before. And typically, this is where the concept of asymmetrical warfare plays in. For Israel, an organized modern army, to be able to say we defeated the enemy, it would require the removing any ability to continue to fire rockets and to harm the Israeli citizens. For the other side of the equation, when it's all over, putting over in quotes, all they have to do is have one guy crawl out on top of a pile of rubble with a flag in his hand, fire it for a small missile, and they've defeated the big Israelis. So there's a lot at stake, a lot that Israel can or can't do. What we've seen in previous excursions of this nature is that Israel is pretty much given a week to 2 weeks by the international community, read the United States, to do what they can do, and then they lose their stomach for it. And even though there's more work to be done to prevent this from becoming an every 6-year affair, it's not good enough that way. And the rest of the international community starts losing their stomach for it. They start pressuring Israel to stop the fighting. And typically the fighting stops too soon. Too soon meaning that the total terrorist infrastructure is not destroyed.
Dennis, added to this, you have rioting going on, which Hamas is stoking, and this is probably the bigger concern when all is said and done.
Rioting going on within Israel?
Within Israel, right, that's right, between Israeli Arabs and Jews. And this is catastrophic because it's something that Israel will have to deal with. It's something that will not leave tomorrow. It's something that Israel, I personally feel, needed to address sooner. And now, if you see more separatism and isolationism and even extremism that some of the scholars are suggesting, this is the real problem.
Yes, we have to talk about that. Stay with me, please. They're the finest reporters from Israel in the world, in my opinion, the Media Line. MediaLine.org, for you to get their updates on the Middle East regularly. I know them many years. They have no axe to grind. They actually love truth. Amazing thing in contemporary media. Nerve Renew is an amazing thing, if I may use a word I used in the broadcast. Nerve Renew is a product that I asked to advertise on my show. I'm among the many with this tingling, numbness in an extremity, in my case, my 2 feet. It's been with me for much of my life.